First of all, to give my thanks to Volka and Franco for invitation to this nice meeting and to return because I was very young in this time because I was a postdoc with Richard Harrison, so I came with him. No, I was not so, my knowledge was lower in that time. We want to present some, maybe some potential explanation about the social economical change it's happened in Iberian Peninsula in the time of the Beakers, because we have the Beakers, but also are in a society. Well, first of all, when we talk about Iberian Peninsula, we have a strong process of fortification and aggregation of population in several sites, but more focusing, if you see, in the Atlantic coast and also Andalusia, western and eastern Andalusia. Still, we are becoming to focus in several political territories with some main sites, some of them very well known as Millares, is since the end of 19th century, but another one less known as Marroquíes or Valencina. In Extremadura is more complex. I show you, because with Zambuyal, the extension of the site is around 6 hectares, but in the last geomagnetic survey suggests maybe 40. Now Thomas Schuhmacher is going to renew this study to check really how is the size of the surface. As you could see, Valencina is a huge site. It's the biggest site in Iberia, maybe far away till Ukraine, I think so, till Syria and Iraq, yeah, in that time. Los Millares is very well known, and we have several fortified lines. Started this year also to renew the excavation, so it's a good opportunity to have more information. Also, it's becoming the main publication. But it's especially interesting because it's well studied how around 2,500 we are in a complex process of change, and there is a reinforcing of the main fortification. And this is a good example. And around Los Millares, we have around 11 forts. The main fort is number 1, if you see in the green color, reinforcing the area surrounding this space. So it's very interesting. In Iberia, 2,500, maybe 1 year more, 1 year less. 100 years, not 1 year, 100 years more. It's a complex period because in general also we see some of the site reduce his size and to take a better and more defended position. So it means conflict in some kind of warfare or any things. And one of the best stratigraphy for Beakers we have in Los Millares. Now is going to be published this year. And we have cleared more or less around 2,550, more or less. This is unit. We have how appear the maritime Beakers, and we have a shift for mostly insisted Beakers around 2,300, 350, more or less. And in this area now is this year they started also are now on excavation till I think next week. So it's our focus. One of the two focus in the new campaign are the Beakers. So it shall be an important step. And it's very interesting when we see, because they have several superposition of hats, we could see in the beginning how coexist. It is the same situation as in Portugal. It's important to focus. We have a main impressed group with com, but also maritime, and also insisted. It's a small pack, but it exists in the beginning. And you could see the shift around 2,300, how the insisted Beaker is mostly the main group in this sequence. In general, it's well studied and shall be published in the proceeding of the Villanova de San Pedro. Shall be appearing, I think, now, but it's because we have the proof, I think, 1 year ago or something. The another situation is the lower Guadalquivir, one side who is part of the Atlantic. Always we are focusing Portugal, but the Atlantic is arrived till Huelva and Seville and Cádiz, so sometimes we forget this matter, no? And in this sense, it's a key site also, this area. It's in the late Bronze Age, also during the Cartesian times. This is a more complex definition between the transition of late Bronze Age and early Iron Age, because this strategical position. I take a map of Barry Cunliffe, who like this kind of very good approach with maps. And Valencina, we have been digging, Thomas, me, and Frank, since 2017. We started working in 2014. And we are trying, first of all, to reorganize how is the defensive system, because it's so big as the people don't believe it's a settlement. It's so crazy, but it's happened. And we have been working and doing sondage and also perforation of the system. So we more or less, this is our last proposal, which shall be published this year, at the end of this year, and you could see the proposal. And you could see one of the main problems with this excavation is mostly inside a city. In the city of Valencina, no, it's a complex matter. You could see in the second map. So in late Copper Age, at least we have as a minimum of 25 hectares. Maybe it's around 80 hectares. So it's a huge site. Very huge site, but in the Middle Copper Age was around 200. We have been checking in several places. So, and in the last campaign, we found also the first evidence of fortified system. We hope to in the next campaign continuing in this area also, related with sand ditch. This is a ditch with several meters deep. And the inner enclosure, you could see, is surrounded. This is around the 20 hectare space. You could see how is big this kind of enclosure, which close to 11 meters wide and nearly 9 meters deep. So it's to protect the access to the site. We know as far we know, with the problem with the urban excavation inside the city, the distribution, the minimum distribution of the Beaker in the site is around 27 hectares, but as far we're becoming to understand better the system, maybe it's related with this, we tell that enclosure number 1, because we found in 2014 with the first geomagnetic survey, and we have more or less. At the moment, we have done a geomagnetic survey as around 40 hectares. Our project is to finish in the future as far we can, as the German did in Uruk, to cover as far the complete area of this site. Another important matter is sometimes some confusion. We have the distribution of the bell beaker. You know, sometimes you see empty space in the whole Extremadura. It's a pity. For instance, in Extremadura, but in Spain, because we have Extremadura in the Lisbon, lower Tagus River, and different areas. And in Seville, for instance, checking different recording, but we could choose also the record from Valencina. We have nearly 3 times the bell beaker as we found in San Buyal. It's only an example. Mostly came from salvage excavation, but also in Cerro de la Virgen, Granada, the collection of bell beaker is quite impressive. Still now is in a PhD, and they're finishing in Granada, but it's very, very well recorded. So it's sometimes we need to, this is a fantastic research when they publish in the Journal of Neolithic Archaeology, but it still has some little problem because they take in more the source of Richard Harrison, fantastic book in 77. And also another, you know, misconception is the people think later varieties of pottery, normally name it El Acebuchal, which is a bones or excavation in the end of the 19th century. Is the main bell beaker group in southern Iberia and western Iberia, but it's different one. We have more older varieties. And now I haven't the last map of Olivier, so I present this one. But anyway, you could see more or less this is with all the spanning, you know, in the calibration, but we could say at the moment, with facts, Portugal has this older date, but we have seen also in Central Europe with dendro date, is a very important one, has more or less a similar date as in some other areas. In Portugal, we have, it's important, it was published with our college, Cardoso, who published, they are, you know, it's no wood, is animal bones, and also are coming from 2 laboratories. So it's at the moment it's a fact. We could check in the situation, and mostly came from a specific hut. Without middle corporate occupation, so it's difficult to say. Well, we have a mixture of levels. So it's become maybe in the next future is the beginning of the bell beaker is becoming a little bit older. But really in Valencina we have a wide still we haven't. That in really good stratigraphy because there are more horizontal stratigraphy. So, but as far we know, all the dates are around 200, 550, but it doesn't mean in the future could be older. We don't know because this is archaeology is in this way. And when we see the distribution of the maritime, this is important, not only focus in the Extremadura, you could see, North Portugal, Galicia, but also lower Guadalquivir. You could see with the impressed and the standard with the maritime, the percentage is very significant in comparison with another areas in Mediterranean Iberia. So it's about this question to include the southwest Iberia, and especially Western Andalusia, in this matter of the Atlantic phase. This is the study of Salanova, who focused especially, it's very important also, the situation in Britain. It's a pity we haven't, well, maybe Olivier, but it's a specific study of this matter, actually. And with this early beginning in Portugal at the moment, it's, in theory, we have a potential source of this connection. And from this Atlantic area, also it's very important the connection between Iberia and the Lower Loire, and also the Rodano is very important entrance, and the situation of Brittany, who still needs more research. And also in this process, we have a different innovation, which is the use of javelin, who find also in coastal areas of, this is a old map of the Libes. I could do one, but it takes a lot of time, really. This is sometimes prepare a good map. It takes a lot of work, and but this is another element. Another element coming with these early Beakers. But at the same time, and also we could see by coastal distribution, the quarter Beaker are arriving to Iberia in early dates, and if you see the distribution, are related also with this maritime coast areas, but probably also in land. If we look for explanation for fast forward, to move people, actually we haven't any few evidence of the use of horse. Maybe it's related with elite. It's very low percentages, around 2% in Los Millares, close to 3% in Valencina, but it's not enough. So still we need to explore more the question of the sea road. We are permanently yesterday with the fantastic presentation, Professor Richia, and it's about this matter of sea road, and we talk about this movement, but we haven't the proof. And in the presentation of the Guadalquivir, we have a very important, actually it's the Doñana area, but it's a very important estuary just around the Guadalquivir. And also it's the same situation in the Tagus. It's a great landscape with sea in a big estuary, and probably this is a focus for early navigation. And we have in some Beaker from the insisted phase some maybe potential boats in some decoration. This is the best preserved, but we have several fragments with the same representation, are more from phase 9 and 10, so it means around 2,300. And maybe it's meaning about a ship close to the Cycladic one. As you could see the example, we have another example. This is a proposal of Professor Escacena from Seville about this motif, also related with sand. That's important, as the previous Volca explanation. This one is also very interesting because it's also interesting in schematic painting. This is in Extremadura, but in Spain. We have Extremadura in Spain and Extremadura in Portuguese because it's less familiar. So this is a serious matter. We have this kind of ship especially in early Cycladic II. You could see more or less is in contemporary time. And this kind of ship, indeed, you could see in Senegal. If you see now in the Canary Islands arriving, you could see in the news, are bigger really because really actually they transport with a big boat and left close to the Canaries. So I said it's in Pantelleria, the same history. So, but you could see the kind of ship is quite similar, and it's better ship, well, small ship as some people believe. So this is a question to think about, to look for more information about this matter. And another problem in Iberia in general, speaking more from Tagus area to the south, more southern Iberia, I know better than our college is Pilar, for instance, much better in the north. We have some example of individual tomb. You could see here this man with 5 palmela points and 1 dagger. That is very interesting tomb. It's very few people know, and this is an important, was found in a salvage excavation and in Valencina, but especially the last publication of Rafa Garrido. He's very good scholar and very good friend also of me, who has done a fantastic work in the research with in Humanejos, and you could see some of the earliest tomb with maritime pottery. And you could see this distribution. I really, and usually in Portugal, in Andalusia, we have a very few one, but in Central Iberia, we have this example. And this was also presented before, and you could see also this ivory matter. This question of ivory also has been well studied for my colleague, Thomas Schuhmacher, who couldn't come because he's a change in the directorship of the German Archaeological Institute now in Madrid. And it's another question related with this sea road, and who is supplying to these areas in Iberia. So we have the supply is coming from the Oran area to the southeast and from the Atlantic side of Morocco to Portugal. And in the same way, we find Beaker pottery and also a palmela point in this North African. Still very few research, especially in Morocco, are focused more between Rabat and Casablanca in this coastal sector, but we have more evidence. And also very interesting matter is arriving also, couldn't arrive swimming, you know, it's coming with boats. It's coming Asian ivory, and it's arrived to Los Millares or Valencina, but it doesn't arrive to the Atlantic, to San Buyal or Lesella. Professor Cardoso knows quite better, so he could give any explanation about this. So when we try to find different explanation of all this process, but more in this, looking for more historical explanation, only pots, we must take a question about this matter. Our college has been talking about hospitality, commensality in collective practice. It's very important, this question of this new object with a transregional value. This is a matter of Martin was talking yesterday. Also, it's possible in this connection and also with the presentation between this connection between Western and Central Europe and France in the middle also. This is the marriage network, and this is an example, you know, the Italian family, but it could exist in Bronze Age. Is also a potential explanation, so we couldn't avoid. Also, we have the matter of the Beaker pack, and you know, I understand not all the daggers are weapons, but a few one must be something. You know, when we find javelin, which is a specialized weapon, or for instance, this long daggers is not really a knife; it's bigger. So this is a publication, the early Germán Delibes, who published a small book, and in the last year with Manolo Rojo and Rafael Garrido, who has done very good research. So that's a different explanation for this alternative. Also, the first, not only the javelin, but also the halberd, who has been published by Rafael Garrido, and you could see this is more specific, but related with insisted 100 pozuelos Beaker, is a Liebig Lace. If you see, the medium is around 2,300. So, and in the way of Volca, we couldn't avoid, and you could see also in the representation of the ship, this connection between sand and potential ship, and it's the many potteries in the lower part looks, you know, this is a potential connection with some cosmological or more sun approaches. He didn't bring a historical example, but I bring as a, you know, in a contemporary time, you know, in the 4th dynasty, you could see the pharaoh is enduring as the sun, enduring as the sun, and it's one of the more clear in the 3rd dynasty evidence of starting a very important sun culture in this time, in this contemporary early late cooperate, and for Iberian standard, you know, sometimes some countries could change. And but we want to reinforce this matter. We haven't no evidence of invasion, migrants, or massacres at the moment. At the moment, there's nothing in this line. And looking for explanation of the ancestor of the steppes, we have this question of migrant invaders, population growth, as say Martin. Yes, it's a good suggestion. Also, I want to focus in this matter about how the disease could affect to the population in Central and Western Europe for the replacement. I bring to the example is we suffer in the Canary Islands, in front of the Canary Islands, and also in America, how this, you know, no very heavy, no pest, is for instance influenza or smallpox. It's the number of the people who die in some studies say 40 million, but you know, it's saying the people, new people we knew. The local people are under lower protection. It doesn't mean they want to kill the people, because in ancient society, the more important thing are the people. It's the more value, because it's the labor force. Sometimes we forget after the cattle, and you know, but the main important thing is the labor force. So it's okay. So also I want to suggest this question could affect in this expanding of this process, and also give thank you for your attention, and and thank you to stay here. Yeah.